Hey, it's James from All Hail Internal Combustion. Testing out a new camera, so bear with me. And I got this thing strapped to my head with a head strap, so I gotta remember to keep my head right. Problems. Yesterday, I spent quite a few hours working on the deer, because had intermittent problems with it cutting off. You go and engage the deck and it would shut down, and I'm like, okay, it sounds like there's a bit of a safety issue, which it ended up not being. Let me see if I can find it here. This is the deck switch, and two of these terminals back here are to keep you from starting the mower if the deck is engaged. So that's part of the safety. Then it's got a regular 3-pin connector over here. You got main power coming from the switch. One leg of that goes off to the starter. The other leg goes off to actually turn the clutch on the mower deck on. It has an intermittent short in there because it's obviously, you could tell it's a pretty old beat up switch. But it's got an intermittent problem where sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and it trips the safety in here, so I had to take the switch out. I did some handy dandy rewiring and bypassed a few things, naturally, because you got to bypass things sometimes. But I had to put this strap across it because the little plastic pins are all broken down here, and yeah, that's totally rigged up, but that's cool. It works. It keeps the box down. This mower's on it'll go to the great graveyard in the sky after we're done with it. But I installed this switch, and this just turns the deck on and off. It doesn't have the safety on it anymore, so you could start it with the deck engaged, but it would put such a drain on the battery you would instantly notice it and shut it off. So it's got your regular on-off run. As you can see, the battery is dead. It is no more. It's like the parrot in the Monty Python sketch. So I have to get a new battery for this thing, but you would run it like normal, then engage your deck, disengage your deck when you're done cutting the grass, turn the key off. It's all good, and when we're done running the mower, we pull the key out and put it someplace so my grandson doesn't get to it. And I had to pull the carburetor off of it yesterday because the carburetor was disgusting on the outside, not too bad on the inside, but it did need to be cleaned. So I got that squared away and actually did cut grass with this thing yesterday, and it did a great job, and it seems like it's up on power again, and it wasn't having any problem with the tall grass, so mission accomplished. I just got to put the hood back on it, get another battery for it, and we are good to go. What I got to do today is I need to make some legs. Let me explain it. There's always a story. Junior got a new work truck, and he put side boxes in it last night. Well, the side boxes bolt on top of the bed rail. And normally side boxes come with these chintzy legs that go down to the bottom of the bed to hold it. These boxes were used, so it didn't come with them, so I'm going to make him some. And I've got this steel tubing that I bought a long time ago for, I don't even know what I bought it for, but I bought it. I got a lot of this laying around. So I'm going to go ahead and cut 4 pieces of this tubing. I think this is 3/16 wall thickness, but really heavy stuff, way heavier than what I actually need. And I'm going to weld little feet on the end of it so it can sit like this, bolt to the bed, bolt to the bottom side of the side box, and hold it up. So I have a lot of cutting and prepping to do, so I'm going to get started on that. I'm back here in the back corner of the shop behind the Le Mans, and this is where I keep the metal saw at. This is a piece of the plate that I'm going to be using to make the feet out of. So I got to remember with this head thing, I got to be like looking where I'm pointed and pointed where I'm looking. But this is a piece of 3/16 thick angle iron. I don't have any flat plate. I need to go to the scrap yard to get some more metal. So that'll be an upcoming trip. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this where the line is, and out of each piece of this I'll be able to make 2 of my plates. So basically I'm just going to cut the spine out of here, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So there's one, and once I clean this up and square it off and round the corners a little bit, this will be one of the pads that goes onto the end of the square tubing that I just showed you. So I'm going to go ahead and cut another one, and we'll get to cleaning these up. So I've got my 2 plates that I cut out of my angle iron, and I went ahead and took the grinder to them and cleaned the edges all up, and took a pair of vice grips, clamped them together, scribed a straight line on here, and then took the grinder to it to level them out so that they're basically identical. So that part of it is taken care of. Now I need to go grab my piece of tubing, and then I have to clean this all up too, and then we're going to go ahead and set this thing up and get it ready to weld together. So let me get the grinder with the flapper disc on it and get this all dressed up, and I'm going to take and bevel the edges down here so that it takes a good weld. Be right back. Now what I wanted to do with this thing is I want to mount my tubing on top of this plate and then have a hole drilled in it to be able to bolt it down to the bed and then up through the bottom of the toolbox. So I set my plate on here roughly where I want it to be, and I scribed the line. Then I went ahead and put an X across there, center punched it. That way my hole will be just roughly about in the center. It's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be, but it doesn't have to look like complete crap either. Then over here to the drill press. Blow all the crap off the drill press. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit y'all down and try and sit you someplace where you can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. Hole. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to start it and hold it manually. So what I did was I started the hole that I center punched, holding this with my hand. Now I keep this clamp over here so I don't have to get bruised fingertips. So we're going to center this up, put light pressure on it, put the clamp on it, and then we can go ahead and drill this. And for this you want to use a sharp bit and maybe drill a pilot hole if you think you need to. some of my bits I have, they don't recommend drilling a pilot hole. That happens to be one of the ones I'm using now. And I haven't had a problem as long as I don't get too crazy and put too much force on it. Usually goes in and through with absolutely no problem. And we're about to go through. And of course it's going to do that, and there we go, we're through. And all this is just a cheapy tabletop Craftsman drill press. Nothing special. I've had this thing kicking around for years. And I'll go ahead and leave my vice grips attached there, because I will need them again. Then I'm going to go ahead and I got the belt sander over here. Fire that up and just use it to clean the burrs off the bottom. So then we'll come back over here. And now that we got both of these plates made up, we're pretty much ready to weld. I'm not doing a welding instructional video because I don't consider myself that good at it. But all I can say about my welding is it holds. I've only had a couple times when my welds broke. That's all I got to say about my welding. It ain't pretty, but it works. If you're about to weld, probably the first thing you want to do is see how much wire you got left. Do you have enough wire for the job? Because if you don't check this, the magical pixies will come and they'll take that wire away and you'll only have enough to do like half of what you expected. But I can see that I got a fair amount of wire on there, and I always keep a rolling back up, so I know I've got enough to complete this job. Once I use this roll of wire up and put my other one on, I immediately order another roll of wire, so I don't have to worry about running out halfway through a project. And once again, since I'm doing the heavier welding, the good old Lincoln 90i FC comes in clutch. I use my other welder for body work, set up with thinner wire. This has heavier 36 thousandths wire in it, so this is what I use for the big stuff. Okay, so this is what I got after I welded everything together. This basically is going to be, that side's still hot. This is basically going to be a leg that supports the bottom of the side box that goes down to the bed floor. There'll be two of these on each side, and as you can see there, just kind of centered it on the plate. Got my hole drilled for my bolt, and now I'm going to put a coat of paint on this thing and hang it out in the sun to dry for a while. Okay, so I know it might be a little hard to see with the sun being the way it is, but this is the finished project. It's I put a coat of Rust-Oleum primer on it and put a coat of Rust-Oleum semi-gloss black paint. Actually put 2 coats of that on there. And once the sun hits this exactly right, I'm just going to let it sit out here and bake in the sun for a few hours till Junior gets home, and we can go ahead and put these in the truck. First one's done. I've got the second one ready to be welded. Then I got 2 more after that. So that'll pretty much be my day. Hope y'all are having a good productive day out there. This is James from All Hail Internal Combustion. Have a good one and see you next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all of our subscribers so far. And if you could, throw us a like on the video, please. Later.